Hello everyone, this is Ross with Market Traders Daily, and this is today's video analysis for May 13th, 2020. Today we're looking at the GBPUSD Great British Pound versus the US dollar for today's trade analysis. Two charts on the screen. The right hand side is the US dollar index, the left hand side is the pound dollar. US dollar index over the past several weeks has been in a long-term range. Everything to the right of the vertical black line, between the double black lines, top and bottom, long-term range, blue-red trend lines. You can see how that's been playing out in the past several days. 6 days now. We've been stuck in this little blue box. Market's just been bouncing top to bottom of that blue box for 6 days now. Yesterday we were studying the market bouncing off of the bottom of that box, going back up a little bit. Had some opportunities to see some long dollar trades. You can see the one left over right now, New Zealand dollar, at the very bottom of the chart, sitting with 60 pips of profit. Right now, we've seen a good bit more than that on that trade. Some New Zealand news, of course, helping that along, but in benefit of the rising dollar from the bottom of that blue box. Right now, we're challenging it again. We did the past 2 days, 3 days actually. Challenging the bottom. If we get the final breakdown of that and it goes lower, that's what I'm studying today. If the dollar breaks and goes lower, which it's trying to do now, that's going to send the pound dollar higher. And that's interesting because if you look at the pound dollar, and let's zoom in on that now, that black line that you see here, the rising lows that you see here along that black line, we've tapped down here into the 1.226080 level. Finding support there again, as we have before. If you go back here to the left-hand side at the pink zone, or right in the middle of the chart, I should say, bottom of that red and blue trend line, where the market came down, hit that pink zone, and began the rising blue trend line, we're at that same area, hitting the pink zone, bouncing off, black line, bouncing off, going back up, challenging the orange shaded area today. Let's zoom it in down to the 4-hour time frame. Take a look at what's happening here. We came off of that pink zone, sudden infusion of buyers back above the orange zone. That's really what I'm focusing in on. The fact that we're getting above that orange zone, falling dollar, rising pound dollar. We did get some news earlier today out of the UK. Bad, but not as bad as expected, not as low as expected. So we see a little bit of a rise coming out of the pound dollar, especially with that falling dollar. If it continues to fall, we look for the breakout scenario here. I'm looking for the market to stay above this orange shaded area, 1.2325 area. So what I'm actually first off going to look for is a candle body that can get above there. If we can get this current candle to close, the next candle to open and close, that's going to give me confidence that it's going to continue to rise to the yellow zone. A break above the yellow zone would look for a further move. And if we can get some further movement higher, similar to what happened right back here. Let's just put a big circle back here. Similar to what happened right here. What we're going to begin looking for is for it to use that orange zone, like it did there at the blue circle, as support, and could be our first signs of reversal for this currency pair, the pound dollar, to continue to pressure higher. Of course, it would have to break the red trend line and everything beyond that. But first things first, coming off of the pink zone, significant infusion of buy orders. Looking at the blue circle, what we're looking for is for it to stay above the orange zone, sit on top of the orange zone as support, looking for the continued further push lower for the US dollar. These are going to be the clues that we need to begin looking for a buy scenario and reversal for the pound dollar. If none of that happens, if the dollar goes back up, the pound dollar gets right back underneath the orange zone, I think we look for the downside once again. But signs are there. Evidence is there of potential reversal. We need it to stay above that orange zone. Once it does, that's the next question. What if it does? What do we do with it? The next thing I would look for is for it to sit down on top of that orange zone as support for the buy opportunities to go back higher. Stop loss at that point is underneath the orange zone. So to minimize your risk, minimize potential loss in case it turns around and goes back down, put your stop loss underneath, probably just underneath the 123 level. That way you can minimize the risk. If it turns around and goes back down, we can start to look to target higher levels on potential reversal. Again, doesn't have to. It could do exactly what it did right here. Take a look. It challenged this yellow zone right here and then turned right back around and went back down. So we want to be careful we don't fall prey to this. That's what we don't want to happen right now here. So we need it to get above the orange zone, clearly stay above it, sit on top of it as support for buy opportunities on the pound dollar in the next few days.
From Forex Traders Daily, this has been your daily analysis with Ross Mullins. If you would like to get Ross's analysis on all the currency pairs he's watching and all the trades he takes today, join him in his live trade room by clicking on the link below. Please leave any comments you have about today's video in the comments section below.